want to talk about a real interesting matchup that I'm looking forward to on March 26th, and that's Andre Ward versus Sullivan Barrera. Now, obviously, Andre Ward has had long bouts of inactivity, and a lot of questions are going to be about how sharp he's going to be. Is there going to be any ring rust? But I just think Andre Ward's the type of fighter who constantly stays in shape, number one. And number two, he's been fighting his whole life, so I don't think all of a sudden he's just going to forget how to fight. I think by staying in the gym, even during these long layoffs, I think he's been able to stay sharp. And I don't think, and I don't expect or suspect that he'll lose anything in this fight against Sullivan Barrera. Now, obviously, Sullivan Barrera is the bigger man here, but Andre Ward, as mentioned before, has fought as high as light heavyweight in the amateurs, and also he's been 171 and 3/4 or 172 pounds in a couple of his fights as a pro. But I think one thing that's being overlooked here is Andre Ward's physical strength. If you look at certain fights that he's been in, particularly in the Super 6, when you look at the fight that he fought against Mikkel Kessler, Alan Green, Carl Froch, he's used a lot of physical strength in those fights. He seemed to be the stronger man in all of those fights, and he basically bullied those guys on the inside, I thought. I think he's the type of guy, he reminds me of that fight with Shane Mosley versus Antonio Margarito, where you saw a lot of clinching by Shane Mosley, but he would grab and not necessarily maul Antonio Margarito, but he would grab him and maneuver him around the ring, walk him back, turn him, and release the clinch and then punch off the clinch. That's the thing I think Andre Ward does very well. He gets criticized so much for excessive holding, but he holds just long enough to nullify and contain his opponent, and before the referee can step in and break, he's releasing and he's punching off the clinch. And Andre Ward's the type of fighter that I like to call, he's offensive and defensive minded at the same time. So every move he makes, whether it be a defensive move or an offensive move, he'll throw a punch and he'll lean down and make himself and crouch and make himself a compact target. So he'll throw a punch, his head is always off center. It's never in the line of fire, and he's always out of the way for the most part of oncoming attacks from his opponent. So he's always thinking offense and defense at the same time. So he'll throw a punch and he'll already position himself in a defensive posture where he can land and his opponent can't. And he's very effective fighting outside, inside, very athletic, quick of feet, and as Virgil Hunter, his trainer, likes to say, he does process things pretty quickly. He's similar to Floyd Mayweather in the fact that he's thinking 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 moves ahead. Now, Sullivan Barrera is a big guy. I mean, he's been as high as 196 in his pro career. But is that an effective weight for him? Is he the guy that uses physical strength in fights? He more or less, to me, seems like a plotter. Seems like a clubbing type puncher. Doesn't seem to have that one punch knockout power. He's the guy who likes to impose his will, very aggressive, moves forward. Unlike a lot of Cuban boxers, he's more of a slugger and less of a boxer. Whereas we've seen fighters such as Yuriorkis Gamboa, Erislandy Lara, very, very boxer type orientated styles where they're moving a lot. This guy, Sullivan Barrera, is a stalker. He's a clubber. And he loops his shots a lot. And sometimes he'll get in too close and smother his shots, I noticed. The only two recognizable names on his record is Jeff Lacey, definitely shop worn when he fought him. Obviously, not the best Jeff Lacey that we've seen. He stopped him in 4 rounds. And also Karo Marat, very impressive knockout, knocking him out in 5 rounds. He's a guy that usually isn't the best fighter in the world, but he usually goes rounds. He's a pretty solid guy. Had a good showing pretty much against Bernard Hopkins, came up short in that fight. So let's break this down. Let's look at these two styles. Obviously, Andre Ward is the more skilled fighter. I think that he's the better boxer overall, very versatile, again, very elusive, and inside, as I said, very strong, very underrated strength inside. He's able to contain guys, and you know, people are saying, will he be able to do that at light heavyweight? The reason why I say yes, he will, is because he was so dominant at 168 in the physical strength department, particularly as I said, when he got up close. He was really able to bully these guys like they were the smaller guys. And if you look at, you know, Alan Green, Mikkel Kessler, Kyle Froch, and even Arthur Abraham, those guys are pretty big guys in their own right, and you could argue that they're bigger than Andre Ward, or at least, you know, Arthur Abraham's thicker and stockier than Andre Ward. So Andre Ward may not be the biggest light heavyweight in the world, but I think he's big enough to carry the weight, and I think because of his, you know, underrated physical strength, I think he can carry that up. He can carry that up to 175. And I'm going to make a bold prediction here. Because of his advantages in speed, skill, and overall boxing ability, I think he can wear Sullivan Barrera down. I think he can punch inside of those looping, clubbing shots that Sullivan Barrera likes to throw. And I actually believe that Andre Ward can get a late stoppage in this fight. And I'm actually going to go out on a limb and say Andre Ward will score a late stoppage in this fight over Sullivan Barrera. I think that this will be a showcase fight, and this will be a good preview somewhat to see what we're going to get against Kovalev, to see what type of Andre Ward that we're going to get against Kovalev. So I'm looking forward to this fight. This is Andre Ward's first big fight at light heavyweight, and I think that this is going to be an excellent performance from him, and I'm looking for great things from Andre Ward in this fight. All right, guys, that's all I have for you right now. Talk to you soon. Until next time, peace.